Hi, welcome back to EdTech Insider. I'm Andrew Cohen, the founder of Brainscape, and today I'm here with Ben Kamens. He is the lead developer of the Khan Academy, and he's working on some really cool stuff over there. How you doing, Ben?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing well.
Going great. So a lot of people think of the Khan Academy, when you talk about it in conversations, as a huge online video repository, and that's where it's gotten a lot of its traction. But you guys are doing some really cool stuff in skills mapping, and creating lots of different interactivities that help teachers better understand their class's competencies. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that works and what the plans are for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's actually kind of funny because Sal started the Khan Academy with those interactive exercises that you're talking right now. It was actually the original vision, and
Huh.
Sal has a background in computer science, so he started out working on making some interactive test modules for his family, and then he started recording videos to help them learn how to do it, and the videos really took off. And just like you said, a lot of people really conceive of the Khan Academy as a big collection of videos right now.
Right.
But internally, organizationally, and what we're focusing on is a really an entire learning experience that's based around the belief that kids should be able to move at their own pace. So if you go to the Khan Academy site right now, we've emphasized exercises in all types of new ways, and basically any kid can go click on practice and see a big tree or a big map of all of the different interactive exercises that they might want to learn from 1+1 through calculus. It's all math-based stuff right now, and it's really this entire kind of ecosystem of interactive exercises that lets kids move at their own pace and teachers keep an eye on the data as they go along. That's kind of the brief overview, but what you really said, it hits at a core belief of the Khan Academy right now, which is that we're not a video repository, but instead we're actually building a large tech team focused on creating a skill mapping for kids.
Yeah, I watched Saul give the TED talk several months back with Bill Gates, and that was
Yep.
very impressive. What it looked like, even just in your early classroom experiences with that. Give me a quick overview of kind of what subjects right now are covered in this skill mapping technology, and what age groups it's focused on.
Yeah, if you go right now, you'll literally you'll start at 1+1. You can jump anywhere, but you could start at 1+1, and you could work your way all the way through trigonometry, pieces of geometry, and into the very beginnings of calculus. So
So mostly
there,
math.
it's all math right now in
Okay,
terms of the interactive stuff.
gotcha.
The videos obviously cover all types of different areas right now, but we have a primary goal of covering K through 12 mathematics with all of our exercises and covering it well before we start branching out and trying to solve the uh, difficult problems of how to test other areas of knowledge. Math is obviously an easier thing to test online than language or humanities or anything like that. So we have next steps to take. After math, we can move into physics and biology and other stuff. But right now, it's all math in terms of the interactive stuff. It's K through 12 focused, and we are working with a number of pilot programs and teachers in order to fill the appropriate gaps so that we really have adequate coverage in all of K through 12.
And can I jump in at any level, or must I start at the very beginning and sort of unlock the subsequent exercises?
Yeah, you can jump in at any level. This is a big debate of ours, but we believe we want this to be a resource that anybody can start in at any point in time. You can have the nicest experience by far is if you are a student. Say you're in fifth grade and you literally jump in at 1+1 and you start working your way up, and you'll move really quickly at the start. But then you might hit. We see it all the time in our fifth grade classes. You might hit a barrier with negative numbers or fractions or something else, and the teacher may have already moved past that and assumed that you were good at it. But we'll see kids that need to spend more and more time at concepts that are below grade level, and then once they cross those hurdles they move on. So it is tailored to the student who will start at the top and work their way down, but for people who just want to go pick up certain skills, or maybe you want to study for an AP test or something like that, you can go pick out your exercises and test out specific bits of knowledge.
And how does the teacher administer this? Give me a better idea of sort of the educator dashboard experience.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, first of all, there's no there's no really credentialing required to sign up as a teacher at Khan Academy. In fact, we call it a coach. So we are attempting to blur the lines a little bit between student and teacher. And if students want to coach other students and things like that, we highly encourage that, and we're building functionality into the system to kind of help that. So we use the word coach instead of teacher. But teachers right now, they'll go into our site. All of the students basically register them as their coach, which gives the teacher full access to all of the students' data, what they're working on, where they're spending their time. And what we see right now in our classrooms is a replacement of significant portions of the math curriculum in which all students will come sit down in front of their computers and start working at their own pace on entirely different subjects. And the teacher will have access to this rich dashboard which just shows them a big grid of all their students and all the different concepts which the students could be working on. And then they'll be watching that dashboard and something might ping red, and that student's struggling, a specific student is struggling in, I don't know, subtracting negative numbers, which is a common thing to struggle in, right? And then so the teacher can click on that student and that area. They'll see all the past problems the student has worked on, how long it took them to do those problems, which problems they got wrong, and then they can go over to that student and address that specific issue. So it really gives the teacher the tools necessary to turn them into a coach that can intervene when necessary in order to fix different problems in a student's understanding, which has been a pretty powerful thing. It's also a really scary thing. The teachers that we have are phenomenal. They're fearless. You have to be fearless because one kid is going to raise his hand and ask about negative numbers, and another kid's going to raise her hand and have moved on to trigonometry because she's been tutored her whole life and is ahead and wants to understand the Pythagorean theorem or something. And we've seen it a number of times in our classrooms where a teacher will sit down next to a kid and say, I don't understand this either. Let's learn it. Let's learn it together. And that's an awesome coaching relationship. That's some of the coolest stuff we've seen come out of the Khan Academy. But you really have to be willing to embrace that in order to give up the whole "I just prepare for one lesson plan a day" type safety that goes on right now.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how the masses of teachers start adopting this. And I
Yeah.
know kind of the education thought leaders right now are moving toward changing the word teacher to, I like your word coach. We used to always say facilitator
Right. Yeah.
up
Yeah. Yeah.
at my graduate work up at Columbia in education. But no, that certainly does change the dynamic and gives both the gifted student more of an opportunity to move forward kind of beyond the confines and does allow for a lot more than one-on-one experience, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, it is really nice. And what you see is it actually mandates a lot more collaboration in the classroom because there are going to be 5 or 6 pockets of students in any classroom that are struggling or working with something that's on the boundaries of their knowledge, and there's only one teacher, and the teacher, and those things might be different concepts. So what happens is you'll see students start grouping together that are at similar levels. They'll be teaching each other, because the teacher can't go around and teach all these different concepts at the same time. So you do see those lines get blurred, and students helping other students and things like that, which is really cool.
Yeah, they say the best way to fully learn something is to have taught it yourself. So if you could start
Yes.
engaging those students at the micro teaching level, you're kind of hitting all the nodes and really eliminating all the inefficiencies and non-personalization of education, which is key.
Yeah, and what you just said really gets at the core of long-term plans for Khan Academy to build more and more features and encouragement into the system that tends students towards teaching other students to prove their own mastery. It's a difficult thing to do, obviously,
Right.
but we're thinking hard about it.
Yeah, and I might have missed this. Are the remedial videos that Saul Khan records tied to the lessons so that if I'm having trouble with one of the exercises, I could watch one of those videos and teach myself before having to resort to the teacher?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to encourage that type of behavior. And we've seen interesting dynamics. First of all, whenever you're looking at any individual problem at Khan Academy, you have 2 ways to help yourself if you're struggling. You can click hint a number of times and see a step-by-step breakdown of that exact problem being solved along with explanations of why things are happening. So every single problem is accompanied with a complete hint system that will show you how to solve the problem. And then you could apply that generic algorithm to other problems if you wanted to. So that's one thing that students do a lot in order to learn how to solve problems. And the other thing is we do show you all the related videos for any individual concept you might be working on. We learned a lot quickly in our first classroom when we walked in and saw students only using hints and not watching any videos, and we still are working to design the system to encourage video watching, but you see different dynamics show up in different classrooms. Sometimes in a classroom it might be seen as a bad thing to watch a video among all of your peers, and so nobody wants to open up the video on their computer screen. So we tweak certain things, like we started giving out badges for videos, and we started encouraging them with our point system and other game mechanics, and we saw a slight improvement, and now we're building more, we're actually working on more metrics right now to try to determine exactly how effective our video watching encouragement is for anybody who's struggling. But yeah, that's the long answer. Yes, you can watch videos.